All right, welcome everybody to our, what is today? We've got somebody with their speakers on. Please hold. Oh, that was pretty funny. Did you see the color block pop up? Testing. I still hear it. Where's Rochelle when we need her?
Recording in progress.
No, it's me.
If everybody could just, hello? Nice. For those of you online, we're trying to solve a echo problem.
That on sound.
Testing. No, I don't hear. No, I do, but it's not as bad.
Bad.
Oh, it's not, it is bad. Okay.
It's not good.
Hello? Still there. And when we solve this, we'll get Council Mayor Pro Tem Dunn promoted to panelist.
All a ruse to wait for the city attorney.
Testing. All right, I think our echo's gone. Wonderful. Just in time. Welcome, Sean. All right. Shane, if you could please promote Mayor Pro Tem to panelist, I'd appreciate that. And then we can get going. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here in City Hall for our Tuesday, March 17th, 2026 City Council meeting. I still with that 3 months in. We are here in person in City Hall chambers, and also we have our Zoom component online as well. Did I lose it? Oh, hold on. Did I think I
Audio
got
check, see if I'm in.
Yep, we hear you.
Thanks.
All right, there's the meeting. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the invocation given by Councilmember Ball, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us.
In the spirit of today, this is a classic Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Amen.
Very nice, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And we'll start off with roll call. Councilmember Darrow. Here. Councilmember Severs.
Present.
Councilmember Ball.
Here.
Pro Tem Dunn.
Happy to be here.
Here. And Councilmember Kurtz is out for a school event, so I would entertain a motion to excuse her tonight.
I moved it.
Second by Councilmember Ball. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. We're up to agenda approval. Are there any requested changes to tonight's agenda? Woohoo. All right. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Ayes, Mayor Pro Tem, I saw your note. Can you hear us okay? Are you good? All right, gotcha. Thank you. All right, we are up to citizen comments. We start off our meetings with an opportunity for citizens to comment on anything your heart desires. Our limit is 3 minutes. And it's a comment section only. So if you are in chambers and would like to make a comment, we have some white half sheets over by the door. If you please fill that out and get it to Kyle Dixon, our finance director, at the end of the table. That'd be great. If there's anybody online who'd like to make a citizen comment, please send a note to our meeting host in the feature and we'll recognize you. I don't see any in chambers at this time. Is there anybody online? Nobody?
Online. Request at this time.
Okay, thank you. And Kyle, do we have any written comments to read?
We do not.
Okay, great. Just a reminder, we will have other opportunities during the meeting for citizen comments. So next up, we are to announcements, proclamations, and special presentations, and we're honored tonight to have a proclamation for Developmental Disabilities Month. And we'll have, I almost said Rochelle, but she's not sitting there. We'll have Kyle read this in and we'll vote of support and we'll finish it off.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we have a proclamation for the City of Liberty Lake, Washington, declaring March 2026 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Whereas intellectual and/or developmental disabilities impact an estimated 7,000 to 12,000 Spokane County residents and their families. And growing numbers of these individuals and their families live, work, and attend school in Liberty Lake and are essential to the vibrancy of our city. And the 2026 national theme, We're Here, Then, Now, Always, honors those who have always been a part of our community and affirms this as a lasting priority as Liberty Lake grows towards a city of approximately 14,000 to 15,000 residents. And the barriers to full participation can only be reduced through community commitments to awareness, accessibility, inclusion, engagement, and support. And in 1987, President Ronald Reagan issued the first proclamation establishing March as National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month.
Okay, before we go on, I'll take a motion of support for this proclamation.
Madam Mayor, I move the council to support the proclamation.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Councilmember Severs. Any discussion or questions? Comments? All right, not hearing any. Those in favor of supporting this proclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, not hearing any. Motion passes. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and city council of the city of Liberty Lake, on behalf of its citizens, do hereby proclaim for the second consecutive year, March 2026, as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in the city of Liberty Lake, Washington, and encourage all residents to recognize the enduring friendships, contributions, and leadership of neighbors with developmental disabilities in every part of community life. I'd like to invite Deb Fink up if you say anything. Well, you can introduce yourself. I won't steal your thunder.
Thunder. I have to have thunder. First of all, please tell me if my mic is working.
It is.
Okay, that's hardly ever the thing I pay attention to, so I better. Good evening to all of you, and thank you very much for being here, all of you, and for approving and adopting this proclamation. It sounds pretty formal, doesn't it? All the whereases and this, that's, and the others, and that's how they're done. And I started participating in developmental disabilities proclamations back in 2012 or 13 in the city of Spokane when we first started offering the opportunity to the city to engage in such an activity. And that still goes on today, but it is mostly the purview of large cities, counties, and urban areas to make these kinds of statements. And for me, I feel a special pride in this city of Liberty Lake, which is where my family and myself have lived for over 35 years, that you would take the time and the energy to do this. So thank you very, very much. I hope that you'll all take a good look at the proclamation and that we can at some future time dissect it for what it might mean for every resident in this community. I really appreciate this time. First of all, thank you, Mayor, and also to all of you council members, new and I wanted to say old, but I'm going to say experienced. I really appreciate it, and most especially to Dan Dunn, who is a dear friend and a real help to us in Ohana to make this and other initiatives for people with developmental disabilities a reality in Liberty Lake. Thanks, Dan, for putting this forward. I really appreciate it. I'm Deb Fink, like Mayor Chris said. I'm the director of Building Ohana here in Liberty Lake. I'm also the wife of Charlie Fink and the mother of Jonathan. And tonight, that's my most favorite role, that family person that I am. In this endeavor to make Liberty Lake a real live community that acknowledges the value of people with developmental disabilities. I'll talk about what that looks like, but I want to say first that it's an odd idea, this idea of a proclamation, and I just wanted to address it a bit. The idea of any kind of month being devoted to something like this. In large cities and counties like our own, larger areas, more urban areas, there are celebrations and dances and meetings and lectures and all kinds of things that go along with this. In our smaller community, we have some unique opportunities as well, and I want to a little bit about that. First, I'm going to tell you about a Facebook post that I saw at the beginning of March, and it was, "This is National Don't Forget Where Your Keys Are Month." So we're in competition apparently with that group of people who always forgets their keys. And the point here is, yeah, that's a silly joke, but the fact is, if we paid attention a little bit, if we attended to the issues surrounding losing our keys all the time, if we did that a little tiny bit in a mindful, attentive way, every day of that month, chances are we would improve our situation regarding our keys. I'm pretty sure that I need that more than anybody. The fact is that awareness months can go by and we just notice or take stock of it in very lighthearted ways. But in Liberty Lake, we have an opportunity to take what I would say, sadly, is the last half of this month, because I couldn't get myself together to get here fast enough to do this request. But we have a half of a month, every day of which we could make some intentional, mindful decisions to pay attention to the issues of living with developmental disabilities and some of the ways we can make our community better. So I just want you to be aware that this isn't about an intellectual decision. It's not about a big activity. It really is, in some ways, a little bit for me like Lent. I walk into the period of Lent and I realize that if I don't pay attention to it, boop, 40 days are gone and I haven't really even thought about something that means a great deal to me. It's like that with all of us in the things that we do. We can lose focus. So I wanted to share with you that idea, that this idea of a Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month isn't about spending the whole day or the whole month celebrating or thinking or working, but it is about attending to it in a mindful way. And so I want to just say a few little things. Our calendars are filled with these special days and months that we humans like to put them aside, these periods of time, to remind each other what we think is important. It's how we remind other people. So advocates do a lot of this kind of work. Developmental Disabilities Month is no different. It reminds us to focus, like I said, even in the middle of very busy lives, and to be mindful and attentive, as I said. And it's a call, as it was in 1987 when the federal government under Ronald Reagan decided to begin Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month as a national holiday or national attention. You can't have a month that's a holiday. So anyway, whatever it is. And they called it out in two ways, not to discuss the details and the tragedies and the overcomings and all the stories about disabilities, but to talk about two things: the contributions and the value of individuals who live with developmental disabilities, and also to recognize the barriers that exist in our culture, in our society, in our institutions, in our neighborhoods, in our physical spaces, and the way that we build our communities. Barriers that keep people from living their fullest lives, all of those different things. So here we have on the one hand, a celebration, and on the other hand, how it is that we might be able to engage to make the lives of individuals, including people in our own families, ourselves, and our neighbors, better, more fully participative in community life. Liberty Lake is uniquely positioned to do that. The kind of community that this already is poises us to be able to attend to these things. How do we do that? Well, first of all, I just will say, to interrupt myself, that the concentration and range of experiences that constitute the description of IDD are chronic and lifelong. They affect nearly or all parts of daily life, including communication, relationships, agency, independence, health, safety. It is estimated that in Spokane County, as the proclamation states, that there are between 7,000 and 12,000 children and adults living with some aspect of developmental disability. I think this number, even in its larger 12,000 number, is small in comparison to the realities of people who live with a wide variety of developmental disability. And I would also say that this month is less about some kind of idea or mental acknowledgement in the abstract, and more about the attention we can pay to the people that we live in our community with. And that means perhaps in our own families or in our own neighborhoods. In a small city like ours, that kind of seeing can happen easily in our parks, on our trails and stores, in conversation with strangers. And whenever we pay attention to how our community is working well for everybody, inviting and supporting individuals and family to be able to participate and contribute. We all need that, every single human being. Also, to see where there might be obstacles, where we might be the obstacles. One time when I first started building Wahana, I had an office free of charge at the Arc of Spokane, and they have a wonderful community center that brings people with developmental disabilities together, and all kinds of volunteers. And I was going to be one of them on my lunch hour every single day to pay them back for offering the wonderful opportunity to be in that space. And I went down there, and the first couple of days I was just meeting a lot of people. And the second day I thought, well, I'm just going to go around and see if I can help and be of service and this, that, and the other. And so I started trudging around this room, and all these people were milling about and enjoying themselves. And one fellow walked up to me, and he's apparently a long-term community center attendee and kind of knew the ropes and knew what the whole thing was all about. He walks up to me right like this and said, "You are a giant obstacle." And I thought to myself, well, first of all, I was shocked, but second of all, I realized that it was actually, I was there in the middle of the aisle where people were traveling to kind of get to their friends and try and make, hay of the hour and a half that they got to be there. And here I was right in his way. And I have never forgotten that, because I think I become that person very often. An obstacle, a giant obstacle in so many ways that I don't want to be. And so I wanted you to know that we ourselves can be obstacles to people in our community, along with our physical spaces, the way in which we formed certain expectations and activities that our community engages in, like how fast events go and who rushes to the nearest whatever, and where there's room for slower pacing and for slower absorbing of where there are places to retreat, refuges. We have all kinds of things that we can see if we just look a bit. And the way we see that is by looking at the whole crowd, most of us can't see that well. I certainly can't. But the person right in front of us for whom we might even be, like I was, a giant obstacle. So, those are the ways that Liberty Lake is uniquely poised. We have a beautiful, vibrant, small community, and we can see our neighbor, and we can see, we are not anonymous in this community. We don't have to be anonymous in this community, and I love that about Liberty Lake. In any case, those obstacles are numerous, and I could talk about them, but I don't want to, because what I really want this to be is about an opportunity for Liberty Lake and its residents to pay attention to what it is that they notice in their own communities that might benefit individuals. I lost my page. A lot of times when these proclamations are issued, there are all kinds of facts and statistics that usually are accompanied with stories, tragedies, difficult lives, heroic overcomings, bleak statistics, overwhelming problems, these kinds of things. I don't think this proclamation this year needs to do any of that. I think we move into spring and we use this proclamation to open all of our eyes and give people an opportunity to see what some of those obstacles might be, and also meet some of those people that it will take both time and intention to know. So I hope that is a positive note for you, because for me, who has often gone into these proclamations with those messages that I just listed before, this is a breath of fresh air. Thank you for being Liberty Lake, and thank you for having us here. I do want to say one last thing, and that is, if you want to know more, because maybe you're living at the intersection of needing to know more here about this issue, or maybe you are already engaged, as a provider, a professional, a family member, a person with disabilities yourself. There are so many ways in which this community has a very diverse population of people. But you might be standing here having just heard that your niece or nephew or neighbor has a new diagnosis of autism, or another developmental disability that will both be chronic and lifelong. And how is it that, you can do more than just, pay attention in your community, which, by the way, is, I think, the most important thing, but maybe you want to know more. And so I would just say quickly that you want to avail yourself of the groups in our county, in our area, that do wonderful work and from whom you can learn a great deal. And that includes the Arc of Spokane. All of these Building Ohana partners, the Arc of Spokane, the place where I got my comeuppance, and Northwest Autism Center, Isaac Foundation, also an organization that serves people with autism and other neurodiversities, and Side by Side is another organization that I want to mention to you. We are blessed to have David Sitzer on our board of directors, and he founded Side by Side as that very kind of organization that brings people of all abilities together to participate in activities around the community. They've been an inspiration and a help to our organization as we work to build a neighborhood of intentional support. Just don't forget that if you want more information, needed, wanted, or imagine that somebody that you know or love needs or wants it, please contact these organizations. It's easy to find them, or contact us at Building Ohana. We'll be glad to help you out. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for letting me talk longer than I said I would.
Thank
you
you.
always do.
Well, we traditionally do get a picture with the council, with the proclamation. If you'd like to come up for a picture, or that, I'm leaving it up to you. Would you like one?
With that.
Okay.
yeah, sure. Would it be possible if I can invite, sure, my, landscape or shipbuilding Ohana specialist and her 2 kids out. Oh, come on. All right, good, guys. You guys have lots of tonight. Yeah, Councilmember, the Mayor Pro Tem, background. Where are you going? Right here. Oh, I get to see. Oh, okay.
Right up front.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Let's switch them. Pretend we like each other.
Pretend we don't keep any. I can't see your hand. You guys see mine. Yes.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Next up, we are up to reports and inquiries. First is city council. Do we have any city council reports, or is there anything from Mayor Pro Tem to report today? Tim.
I would just want to say a gracious thanks to everyone involved in last Saturday's father-daughter dance at Ridgeline High School. The Kiwanis Club here in Liberty Lake welcomed more than 400 people to the Ridgeline Commons. This was a great adventure and a great way to have this in our community. Actually, prior the event had been held at the Miraboo Park Hotel for many years. This was our first ability to present in the community, and everybody had a great time. So it was wonderful.
Great. Well, I think those volunteers too. I know it was well
Absolutely.
attended, and there's a lot of competition Saturday night for different events.
Yes.
Went well. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody else from council? Not hearing any. All right. Move on to my mayor's report. Make it short and sweet. Some things that have been part of the last few weeks. We had our SRTC board meeting. Pretty much status quo there. We will have some new reports and things coming out from there in the next couple months. Our April meeting has been canceled. I did have the opportunity to attend most of the Gonzaga's Women Lead Conference on Wednesday. I had to leave a little early because Mark and I had a meeting later that day with Congressman Baumgartner here in Chambers, but it was a great event. I highly encourage any of our women leaders, and there were several men in the audience as well, to attend that each year. There's a lot of good information, breakout sessions. I won't go into any details of it, but I can share some resources about how to think about things from different perspectives. This year is a lot around managing our reactions to ourselves and to each other. So could have used that last year probably. But other than that, the Valley Chamber Business Awards were a week or so ago. The Girl Scout Sweets Before Supper fundraiser was 2 Saturdays. Always a great event put on by former commander of Air Force Base, Brian Newberry, as CEO of the Girl Scouts, the Hub Crab Feed, and I hear they raised I'm not going to announce the number. I don't know if it's public yet, but lots and lots of money for the Hub, which was well attended. And I also attended the Visit Spokane meeting with the American Legion delegate, who I mentioned before, they're trying to find a place for their 2032 national conference, 14,000 room nights over a week. So when I saw them that Monday night, they had toured the hotels, and then the next day they were going to go visit all the venues for meetings. So the pavilion, the Spokane Parks turned the lights on the pavilion red, white, and blue for us. They turned on the merry-go-round because the meeting was at the Louvre Carousel. So they turned on the merry-go-round, let everybody ride for a turn. And I think they were pretty impressed. So that went well. Their decision, I believe, comes later this summer. Upcoming Spokane County elected officials meeting is tomorrow. That's where we go over GMA items. The Greater Spokane Incorporated State of the Region is Thursday. I'll be attending that. And then there's a Valley Chamber networking event next Wednesday at Longhorn. That's about what I could come up with. I'm hoping fundraiser season is over. I've spent too much money in the last couple of weeks of fundraisers, but all well deserved. So I think that's it for me right now. We will move on to the city administrator report.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council and our guests, both in the chamber and online. Several reminders to bring to your attention as Shane is bringing up the report that you'll see in just a minute. Here we go. So the first one, very importantly, we've re-entered March Madness. Okay, so the Gonzaga-Kennesaw State game tips off Thursday, March 19th at 7 p.m. If you're interested in that kind of thing, set your own calendar. The next day, Friday, March 20th, is the spring equinox. So we will formally be in spring as of Friday, so later this week. The cutoff for the governor's action of bills that were passed as the legislature ended its session is Saturday, April the 4th. And so you've seen, I'm sure, reports of the governor signing various bills. He has 20 days after the session ends to sign everything that's been passed out of both houses, or else it effectively dies on the vine. He can also veto during this period. But as this is going on, we will get you updates on all of those bills that we were tracking to let you know whether the governor has or has not signed them, and then a final report after April the 4th. You notice on here that we don't have any mention of Easter, although that is coming up. We don't observe any of those days, so City Hall and the library won't be closed in observance of any of those days, but that's certainly happening, and there will be activities around town to be mindful of. And then the week following, Central Valley School District, and I believe also East Valley, will be on spring break, so there'll be extra activity happening with more people around town during that week. Any questions about those reminders before we move on? All right, so with that, I'm going to ask Jen to come up to the podium to give you a preview of the 2026 recreation and events schedule.
And I have 4 quick slides, but just wanted to share. I actually printed everything out for you as well on the community event side. If you'd like a copy of the recreation, we can get that sent out as well.
Jed, quick question for you. Is this set in stone? I'm finding the red dates a little bit difficult to read.
No, it's just a print for you
Perfect.
guys. That's
Okay.
all it is. It's not a formal.
Thanks.
Wait for my slides. Well, so the slides, and you can see it on this community events. We'll start with community events. What I kind of wanted to point out, that's bike safety. What I wanted to point out on the community events, at the very bottom are the partners. Yeah. So an interesting thing I noticed when Mikkel put that flyer together this week is I looked at that and I said, wow, our partners are growing. And it's true. I think when we started doing events a long time ago, it was really just us, Rotary and Kiwanis, as the 3 kind of the main ones that provided events, mostly at Pavilion Park. And it's grown significantly with partners over the years. So it's really impressive to see that. We've worked really hard to include people that we hadn't thought of, invite them to help support. And people are excited and willing to help us. So just kind of wanted to point that out with the
So Shane,
Just-
we
it's
have
okay.
the wrong presentation up. If we can
It's okay.
switch that.
That's all right. And then on the recreation side, just a quick update on that. So as we obviously have brought Mikkel on, I think this is his 3rd year. I think he's almost going on his 3rd year. He started this year with a couple of programs. He had a Lego program that was a huge hit. And he also had a PD excursion for littles with their moms and dads, which also was a huge hit. So the first 2 out of the gate that were staff led by him on city property were very successful, which is a good gauge for where we're going. our recreation. We've also expanded there as well with our recreation agreements. So tonight you'll see a tennis agreement on the agenda. That's one that we haven't had before. So some new and exciting things. You know, when he and I sit down and talk, quite often we discuss, well, what should we look at? What should we achieve? What programs should we bring on? And I think our goal is variety for all ages, and variety in niche things that will grab people. Legos and PD excursions, that's not a generic, maybe Legos is, but those aren't typical generic programs that we've ever had before, something beyond just sports. So that's our goal. Trying to keep our decision-making in line with the strategic plan and what the goals of the city and the community are. So are there any questions? This is the community events, and I think the recreation is the other slide. But are there any questions? Yes.
Is the clean, green and bulky waste cleanup, that's when they come to
Town Square.
Town Square and you can bring.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe Waste Management, they usually send their flyers out, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks prior, maybe it's 4. So they should be coming out very soon.
And you can bring stuff that hazardous, for example, or
No,
like
No.
old batteries?
no.
No.
So when you receive the flyer, there's a pretty significant list of what not to bring.
Oh.
And if it's not on that list, call McElroy and we help you figure out if it's safe to bring.
And we begin messaging for that so that that kind of information is out in front of everyone well before the event.
Everybody, please remember to get closer to your mics.
Any other questions?
Jen, this is all great. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you for all the hard work, you and Mikkel.
I'll pass that on to Mikkel. He works really hard.
I know.
Thanks, Jen. And then the final item on my agenda is to let the council know that the city has been nominated for and has received an award from Tyler. And I'm going to let Kyle explain to you what that is and why it's significant.
So a few of us, if we'll recall back to 2024, there was an effort by the council at the time to push what is known as priority-based budgeting. And so this is our 3rd year kind of implementing this idea of priority-based budgeting, looking at the programs that the city delivers kind of through a different lens. And there's a bunch of work that's done by staff on the back end that allows the communication for us as city staff and us as city leaders to tell the public what investments we're making in these programs and what results we're getting in return for those. And so that's a fantastic communication mechanism that is spreading pretty quickly across the nation. And so we're very thankful that the city council has continued to kind of prioritize this effort. And we're seeing increased ability to kind of deliver those key metrics and those key results to not only to you, the council, during the budget process, but to our residents. And so we can tell them definitively what this program costs us in a year to run, how many FTEs does it take to run, and what are some key metrics and results to measure that return on investment that we're seeing year over year. And so, and thanks for Tyler. They've kind of helped us through this process to kind of implement this. And I'm thankful for mayor and council to continue to prioritize this through the budget process.
And so more than anything else, it's your work that's recognized here. The city is receiving the award, but it's the council and by extension, the team of city staff members that work diligently on this to bring it forward and manage it on an annual basis that's being recognized by this as a sort of a leader in particular methodology and seeing the work that goes in leading now to recognition is not only exciting, but it's a testament to your commitment to making sure that we're able to continue to communicate in this way. And so I want to thank you personally for that. And Mayor, that concludes my report.
Okay, before moving to Sewer and Water District. I did forget this, and I don't know if we got this on the community, on the city's page or not. But I would have been remiss to not acknowledge, so Ty Burns, one of our pros over at Trailhead, was named the Sean Frederickson Outstanding Associate Professional of the Year, an award that represents the legacy of an incredible professional in person. Sean left a lasting impact on so many within the PGA community with his integrity, character, and passion that he brought to golf and life. Tyler says he's incredibly grateful to have met with his parents, who carry on his legacy. So congratulations to Ty at the golf course for his award. Okay, so now we will jump over.
Golf clap.
Hmm?
Golf clap.
Golf club, yes. Water and Sewer District, welcome, Nada.
Good evening. I made it just in time, I guess. My flight was delayed, otherwise I would have been here earlier. All I have really to report is that we're working with the city on the permitting for the well house, which will be bid out pretty soon, once we get all the permitting straightened out, and then we'll be building that over the early summer, I think. So everything else is fine. I talked to Baiji. I said, well, no news is good news in our business. The water's flowing in and other things are flowing out, so everyone's happy. So happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Any questions?
Question about,
Mayor
you
Pro
wouldn't have to
Tem-
know, you wouldn't happen to know when the outlet channel will be running? When they open that?
You know, I asked about that, and is this on? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna have enough water to open the outlet channel this year. I've been down there after the last sort of snowstorm we had. It was supposed to be rain all day. What was it, last Friday? But when I talked to Baiji earlier, he said that he didn't think the lake was gonna be high enough this year to have to open it up. Because it's an adjudicated lake level, so once it gets above a certain part level, we have to let the water out, so.
Thanks.
Probably not be good for us around August.
Yeah.
We'll see, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
Councilmember
else?
Ball.
Well, thank
Go
you.
ahead.
When you do that, when you
Microphone.
let the water, when you let the water, what's wrong with you tonight? When you let the water out, where does it go?
It comes out from the lake, every spring there's sort of a flooding issue kind of in the flatlands there where the trail starts, to the south of the golf course. It kind of goes in there and there's a holding pond that the district owns a little bit of land in there next to the golf course between I guess it's right around where the trail is, and it goes underneath the road.
Which golf course?
The city's golf course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, trailhead.
Uh-huh.
So if back in there's some storage drainage areas that fill up, and then it goes underneath through a culvert to the other side, back behind where it's not Jiffy Lube. What's it called?
Liberty Lube.
Liberty Lube. Yeah, Liberty Lube. Yeah, back in behind there. So there's sort of a floodplain area where the water goes. Yeah.
Okay.
I always like saying that it percolates back to the aquifer. There's
Yeah,
a run area where
we're returning it to the aquifer. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, some of it evaporates, but it does go back to the aquifer. there,
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Any other questions? All right. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Parks and Arts. Welcome, Katie. Good to see you again.
Hi, I'm Katie Ferris. I'm reporting for the Parks and Arts Commission. And I guess we have a couple of slides that he tried to put up earlier, but that was just a little preview. So we have a lot of ongoing art projects that are happening, and some have to be installed according to the weather and that type of thing. So there they are, all the different art projects we're doing. Do you want me to read them off, or? Anyway, there they are. Lots of exciting things. The main thing that I am reporting tonight, and you can go to the next slide, is about the Bike and Pedestrian Safety Advisory Committee as we report to the Parks and Arts Commission. And it's kind of like, I know you guys have been talking about having different committees. We've been going, having a committee for about probably a year and a half now. So we meet with some bikers from the community, usually a city staff person, the Liberty Lake Police Department. And one of the things we've talked about recently is the issue of slowing down the street lights on Liberty Lake Road to allow pedestrians and bikers to cross in the crosswalks. And, even people all different people take different, paces to get across, and we're getting busier and busier. And if we can slow those special lights down, the city administrator has recommended that. So has the police department, because we're only going to be getting more and more traffic. So we just need those lights like at Liberty Lake Road, at Apple Way, and Country Vista, crossing time to be extended a bit. So we're recommending that. And we have some exciting things planned too for the spring. In May, we're going to have our first parks ride, where we will have a bicycle ride from Orchard Park up Harvard over the Liberty Lake pedestrian bridge there. We'll go to Rocky Hill Park, Pavilion Park, and that back over the Kramer Bridge to Orchard Park. So it's going to be a really fun bike ride. It's May 31st, and we'll bring you more information, a map and everything we're developing. But it's kind of a way to show off our city and the parks. If you have friends or family that come into town, you get them on a bike and have a real fun bike ride. So we're doing it on a Sunday morning where there's not much traffic for our first one. So it should be super fun. Let's see what else we have up there. Okay, so I do want to talk a little bit about how important it is for people that are driving cars as all the bikers are starting to get back out on the street. How important it is for us driving cars to slow down. That's the main thing you have to do when you see a bike on the road. Slow down and look for about 5 feet of space to pass. Otherwise, you just need to wait till there's room enough to pass. The other thing is, if you're getting out of a parked car, make sure you look over your shoulder and see if there's a bike going by before you open up the car door, because that's another common injury that can happen. The lastly, which is very important right now too, is watch out for children that are just learning about the rules of the road, getting your bikes around your neighborhood, your parks, the schools. A lot of, middle schoolers are skedaddling around. So we want to make sure that we give them a little bit extra space and time, just slow down around the parks in those areas. So, because we want Liberty Lake to be a bike-friendly community, so we're going to give it our best effort. We're also hoping the Community Engagement Committee will have a town hall where we can have a presentation from the police department, like Chief Simmons did in October, about what's legal and what's not as far as e-bikes, and talk about bike safety. So hoping that's come up pretty soon this spring. So any questions?
Does anybody have any questions? Let me get back to I want to pull my meeting up so I can see. I keep losing it. Sorry. There we go. I don't see anybody online. You guys have any questions? Councilmember Ball?
Just a comment, it's not on here, the bike ride on May 31st.
Yeah, we're just getting all the map and everything's figured out. So I'm sure David, our communications person here, will get, and Mikkel Stevens is also working on like a
Yeah.
little flyer type thing.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your hard work.
okay, should be really fun spring.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Library Board of Trustees.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Chase. I am currently the chair of the library board, and Jandy and I have some updates for you. We do have a couple slides as well. You could go back just a couple. Perfect. Actually, the next one. So we have 5 board members, and knowing that we have some new city council members, we wanted to take an opportunity to introduce the roles that we all sit in. I am the board chair. Anna Voloshin is our secretary. Barb Richardson is also our liaison with the Friends of the Liberty Lake Library. Brad Hamblett is our former chair and Michael Boda is our final board member. Our plan this year is for all of us to sort of rotate through these quarterly presentations so that you have an opportunity to meet, so to speak, all of our library board members. Next slide, please. We'd like to share some highlights of things that are going on in the library. We'll have a more statistics-based presentation later this year, but one of the fun opportunities we have now with increased staff is that we are able to offer story time every single day. It's always full, and depending on the age or the theme, children have an opportunity for about a half an hour of story time and about a half an hour of playtime. Next slide.
So I'm going to take a turn and do a couple of slides for you guys. So each year, I'm required to submit large public library surveys to the state library. So I will be working on that report for the state during the month of April. So each June, you can expect to have our annual report. So I just have a couple stats that I'm going to share with you today, some of our highlights from last year, but you'll get a more in-depth presentation in June for us at our next quarterly report. So just some highlights from this past year. We had over 92,000 checkouts during 2025. 69,700 visitors came through the library during 2025. Total, we have 7,400 card holders. Each library card that we distribute is good for 2 years. Basically, we go through every couple months and we'll delete cards out of the system. So your card's good for 2 years. If you then take another year and don't visit the library, your card is deleted out of the system. This just allows us not to have inflated numbers and cards floating out there that aren't getting used. And it also allows us to make sure we have updated contact information. So if somebody's card gets deleted out of the system, they come back the next day, just give them a new free library card. Lastly, our room usage. So we have a study room and a meeting room at the library that we're going to be talking about the meeting room a little bit later. But in 2025, we had 812 room reservations. These are for private groups, not story time, not any of my library programs, just private groups, study groups, HOA meetings within the library. So next slide. So today we're taking the opportunity to highlight the Friends of the Library, who is one of our major supporters of the library. The Friends group meets once a month at the library for their monthly meeting. The money that they raise throughout the year supports a lot of our library programming. They support the summer reading program that we do each summer, June through August. Our summer reading program is for ages 0 to 100, so it's all ages. They also support the Poetry Slam that we do. This is a program we've been doing with the Spokane County Library District and the Central Valley School District for about 3 years now. They also support our partnership that we have with the Hub and the Play Unplugged program. You guys might be familiar with that. They've been doing it since COVID. The kids are able to go around town and they get little key tags for doing different activities with different businesses. The purpose of the program is to promote things that are not screen time. So basically, they can come to the library, they can come to City Hall, they can come to the police station, complete some sort of challenge and get their badge or their key tag. So that program is supported by the Friends of the Library. And then lastly, the majority of our classes and presenters. So if we bring in an artist to the library, if we bring in a magician to the library, all of those programs are supported by the Friends of the Library. The other one I wanted to highlight is our pass programs. Currently at the library, we have 3 family passes to the Mobius Discovery Center in downtown Spokane. The pass is good for 2 adults and 4 kids to enter Mobius and play for free. So that's wonderful. They also support we have a family pass to the Mack Museum of Arts and Culture. That pass has been extremely popular, and right now it's really popular with the Lego exhibit. If any of you guys have seen that with all the downtown Spokane landmarks. So we have a family pass there for 2 adults and 3 kids. Basically, they come to the library, they check out a DVD case. And inside it has the family pass, and they're able to check that out for a week. Go to the MAC, go to the Mobius, and it's a free entry, which if you have 4 kids and 2 adults, like that's a good chunk of change. So we're really appreciative that the Friends fund this for us. Lastly is the Spokane Symphony tickets. Shane, can you go to the next slide? So this is a program that we've partnered with the Friends and the Downtown Spokane Symphony. You get tickets to 3 shows. They are all Masterworks shows. We get 3 during the spring. So right now we have tickets to 2 in March, to 2 shows in March. We had one the beginning of March, we have one the end of March, and then there's one in the end of April. We love our partnership with the Symphony. The Friends purchase 20 tickets to the Symphony, and then the Symphony donates us 20 additional tickets. So for each show, we get a total of 40 tickets, and patrons are able to reserve up to 4 tickets for the Symphony. So this is an incredible program. If you've never been to the Symphony, it's a great way to, be able to go try it out, see if it's something that you want to take your family to again. So we're really appreciative of that. The last year, we had a total of 120 tickets, and 119 of them were used. So it's a program that we're paying for and that our patrons love, and it is heavily utilized. They don't just grab the tickets and then don't show up. So that's incredible. Next slide, Shane. The Friends fund programs for the library through various fundraisers. They have the book sale in June and November each year. And then also the summer soiree that they do in partnership with the Liberty Lake Winery. They've also been a grant recipient many times over the years. This last year, they were the recipient of the Humanities Washington Award for Friends groups. So that was wonderful. They won that award back in November. And, all of the money that they're able to raise goes directly back to the library. Each year, they donate about $8,000 to us. So it's not a small amount. I went to the State Directors meeting in Tacoma last month, and one of our sessions was on Friends groups and foundations and that sort of thing. And we kind of went around the room and talked about our Friends groups. And there are so many libraries who don't have thriving Friends groups like us. They want to have something like that, but there isn't the interest from the community or that sort of thing, or they're older and aging, and they're like, oh, we get a couple $100s. People were floored when they heard that we get, for a library of our size, that we get $8,000 a year. So we are extremely lucky to have the Friends group that we had. Next slide, Shane. Okay, so Jen and I are going to be talking about the library policy that we have on the agenda tonight to be updated. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on how our meeting room and study room reservations work. And then Jen will get a little bit more detailed into the policy. But for about this is our 2nd year, we have a software on our website. So if you see in the corner, it's just right directly on our main page of our website. It has reserve a room. Patrons are able to click on that button, and then it takes you to this larger screen that you see right here. They can search by date, they can search by time, they can do a broader search that shows them all the reservations that are available for the month. And they can make a reservation for our study room or our meeting room. Our study room, you can book up to from anywhere from 0 to 2 hours at a time. Our meeting room can reserve for up to 4 hours at a time. So they are able to, call us on the phone, make a reservation that way, but we have entered the modern age, and they can also make a reservation online. The study room immediately reserves for them. With the meeting room, I go through and make sure that they are meeting all of our requirements. They aren't like a birthday party or a wedding reception. It's a more community use for the room, and then I go ahead and approve that reservation for them. So that's just kind of the background of how our reservations work. Next slide.
So as Jandy mentioned, we recently updated and revised the meeting room policy. Previously, the library policy and the library website had slightly different wording and organization, though the intent between the two is the same. So we adjusted language to ensure that the website and the policy aligned. We also clearly defined the two different spaces as the large meeting room and the study room to provide that clarification. And we clarified the criteria for the use, the expectations, and the available equipment in both spaces. So now both the policy and the website have the same information and it's organized in the same way. So I know that you have that policy later on in your agenda. Our next slide just is our recommendation from the Library Board of Trustees to approve that meeting room policy. And Jandy and I would stand for any questions you might have.
Any questions, Councilmember Ball?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. When is the Ridgeline Slam? That was in the report. I'm just curious. It already happened?
Oh, the poetry slam?
Yeah.
I don't know the date off the top of my head, but I can look it up when I get back to my computer and let you know.
Okay, I was just curious. And then also in your report, I had to laugh about this kid that, who did he ask? Something, a sixth grader asked about how much education it takes to be a librarian. And he says, "Oh, that's why librarians are so old." I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, that's it.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Mine was just a brain worm after reading through the proposed changes. In the study room, it says you can have up to 8, but you can have up to 10 people in there. Why is there a discrepancy between how many you can have in there studying versus how many just in the room?
I think that was just a user error.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Yes.
Mhm. We
So
intended that
will
to be
take a
10.
picture that
Yep.
says 10 in both places.
Yeah, it was just like, is there just not enough?
Nope.
I don't
The
know.
intent was for
Tutors?
that to be
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
in all places. Thank you.
Nice catch.
Good catch.
Okay. All right, any other questions or comments? If there's any more questions about the policy change, we can do that when we get to the action item. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, that's it for our reports and inquiries. Next up is the follow-up discussion with regards to committees. I don't know, just for history purposes, in the past, when Mayor Pro Tem Dunn and I were, we're the ancient ones around here with regards to tenure. We had our three, well, and I think Councilmember Severs was on there at that time too. We had our 3 different committees. We had our community development, which met once a month, on off Tuesdays. We had public safety once a month, and then finance met every Tuesday before council meeting. So just as a framework, that's what we used to have. Well, actually, it was public safety and library, which included PD, fire, and library. So I just want to kind of give that for some background. I don't know what you guys are thinking about what those committees need to be, should we like them to be going forward, what the cadence is. I see Mayor Pro Tem has his microphone unmuted, so I'll let him kind of jump in and start since this was his topic.
Yeah. To recap, in our last meeting, we reviewed the prior policy presented through the procedures for the council, which outlined the operation of 3 unique committees. The 3 committees, their titles: number 1, finance; number 2, community development; number 3, public safety. The nature of those committees was discussed, and I think there's a general interest in pursuing that. I believe that on tonight's agenda, we do have a resolution prepared for this. What I thought was important, and I think Mark has encouraged us to consider for tonight, is the actual participants in those committees, the appointment process, how that comes together. I just begin by volleying the procedure previously reviewed has a pretty formalized, hey, mayor is going to pick 1 and pro tem picks 2. And I would just voice quickly that I would want to solicit from council members their interests and try and ensure that they are seated in the part of the committee, in the committees which they have interest for. So, I don't see this as necessarily a vying for someone's attention to try and obtain an appointment, as much as just, hey, let us know where you'd like to participate and serve, and we'll see that you get in there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's, we did that. I think the formal policy was that, but I think it did work more smoothly to take the volunteers. Now with there being potentially 3 committees and 7 council members, somebody's, there's gonna be a couple people who may need to serve on 2, because I think we had 3 on each. And I think my other concern, that you guys really need to kind of nail down is when, because at that time, these meetings were happening at 6 p.m. On council nights. We have since moved our meeting start time obviously to 6. So, that's up to you guys, to
Well,
decide what days of the week, what the cadence is.
I believe the committee can select, with the cooperation of staff, a different and alternate date time. So the mission would just be to see that each committee meets once a month, with the participation of staff.
Yeah,
So-
I think it was actually called out previously, but if we don't need to call it out, Sean, if that doesn't need to be in there, a specific, time and day of whichever of the month, that would allow for a lot more flexibility. That was one of the reasons I wanted this kind of back on the agenda, is to make sure we pointed those things out and kind of work through it before we get to the resolution.
Yeah, you don't have to get so specific as to days and times and things like that. This is council's rules, so they have the flexibility to set however they want to meet and get together.
Okay. All right, so go, I see you getting ready to speak, Mayor Pro Tem, go ahead.
No, I would just ask for observations or comments from all the rest of the council members.
Yep, same, and I'm willing to take notes of who was interested in what, and then we can kind of go from there. Councilmember Severs.
If I just be in support of what you guys are both volleying back and forth here, and that let's just establish the committees and then let them figure out their first meeting and let them figure out the cadence, with the idea of it being once a month. Right, Mayor, did you say that finance used to meet
Twice, yeah.
I didn't remember that, but not doubting you. Just, but I would think even on the finance, just say up front, once a month, and if the committee decides it needs to meet twice a month, great.
Yeah.
So, and I'll, which one I'm interested in.
Yeah, so Councilmember Severs is interested in finance.
And if-
Finance.
And if public safety is needed, I'd be
Okay.
happy to do
Okay.
public safety.
Okay.
Second option.
Okay, all right, let's go around the room real quick. So, let's start over here, Councilmembers. Darryl.
Public safety and finance.
Okay. Which one first?
Public safety.
Okay. And I'm just keeping the list here and we can go through that later. Councilmember Ball.
Well, I was gonna ask,
she-
so is it flexible? I mean, do we meet, the committee meetings are here?
Public safety typically met at the police department.
Oh,
I don't know if we still want to do it because that requires signing in now and all this other stuff. But so, yeah, it's either here or at the PD.
oh, okay. I'm interested in community development,
Okay. Would there be a second choice?
public safety.
Okay. Councilmember Klingler?
Yeah, public safety first and community development would be second choice. But I'm flexible.
Okay, and obviously we'll need to get Councilmember Kurtz to weigh in on, we won't make any decisions now. I'll have to get with her and have her weigh in. And Councilmember Fisher.
Would be finance and public safety.
Which one first? Finance?
Finance.
Okay. So 1s and 2s next to everybody's name. So I will get with Councilmember Kurtz probably tomorrow, the next day, and kind of fill in the blanks. And then I will, I'll reach back out to everybody, kind of list who, for one, number 2 choices. We may need to do some shuffling around. And remember, don't reply all, just reply to me. And then we can go from there. Oh, Dan, yeah.
All good. Community development,
Yep,
and number 2 would be public safety.
okay. Okay, so, all right. Okay, great. we'll hopefully get these situated by the end of the week, and then whoever gets put on those, and then what we'll do, we'll also choose, we always had an alternate. So we'll choose, we'll look and figure out who the main 3 are, and then we'll figure out based on people's selections and interests, choose an alternate, because it's always good to have somebody be able to go in their place and make sure everybody has each other's phone numbers. So were there any other questions or comments on for the workshop on this? Councilmember Ball?
So does each committee then report back to the full council like once a month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, usually the meeting right after your committee meeting.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
You know, Linda, I'd voice just as an observation. It's an opportunity for the council to hear as a greater body what was really kind of the heart of the discussion. If there was anything that particularly you as a participant in the committee thought was of interest and relevant, I just try and say observations and reflections on what the experience of working with that committee was. There may be some resolutions, for example, which are kind of percolating along, which are really relevant to those committees. And so the discussion in detail of those resolutions or ordinances and what's important, that's what I would foresee as, important action in the committees and reporting.
Yeah, and not getting into the granular level, but the high level summaries. And usually we would pick one person from each of those committees and we just kind of alternate it. It's kind of like the library board of trustees does. Councilmember Darrow.
Is there any history of ad hoc committees, or is that something that we'd be discussing in this workshop as well? Just
If not regular ones, we've had ad hoc committees. We had, people working on the ordinances and the governance manual. So as those are needed, we don't put them in a resolution.
okay, great.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. I will follow up on that and get information back out. Councilmember Klinger.
Yeah, I'm going to prove that there are some stupid questions. So are the council members active? We can contribute, comment and stuff like that. It's not just there in observation. Okay.
Discussion, recommendations.
Yeah.
And so, so the point is really to, if there is more detailed level that you go through at the committee level, that then you guys would come back with a recommendation and, to trust in our appointed committees to make those recommendations. What happened was when these things, in a way, we got to a point where everybody else on council wanted all the details too. And that's kind of how we ended up having overall committee and directors reports at 6 and the meeting at 7. Then we've morphed into where we are today.
Yeah.
Councilmember Paul. Oh, sorry,
Actually, I'll just compliment the observation. Rick, I'd suggest it's also a relationship building opportunity with staff for us to be able to, as the electeds and the legislative types, just to try and really understand and offer more, I'd say, detailed discussions, stuff that we not have time in this regular council meeting to do. So,
and focus is policy, not operations. We just need to remember that. Councilmember Ball.
So does, like, for example, Rochelle attend our committee meetings and take? No.
There will be, so Kyle will do finance. We used to record them on a tape recorder. I don't know what we'll do now. We'll figure that out. We won't put the technology in the I don't think the technology's in the resolution. So yeah, each, the chief or deputy chief will do public safety. And Amy at this point will be doing community development, and any guests from the staff as needed.
Okay.
So yeah, there aren't formal minutes or anything like that, or an agenda.
Okay, so it's more casual.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and in finance, we used to review the vouchers, so that might be something we get back to. All right, there's no more comments or questions on that. We'll move over to the Youth Commission, which is sort of an extension of this, as we're talking about potential changes in some of the bylaws to some of our commissions. Youth Commission has been dormant for a while. We had talked about visiting this later in the school year, and we are much later in the school year. So I know there's different thoughts on this. Do we continue to have a youth position on our larger commissions as a advisor and obviously not a voting member as part of that? Do we re-stand up the Youth Commission as it was in the past? And Dan can probably speak more to that because I know his kiddos were involved. So I'll let him kind of describe what the commission was involving back when it was very active. It kind of took a dive, not long before COVID.
This is a great, to me, an important opportunity. I want to make sure I'm unmuted. But really clearly, it does rely on students and the youth in the community who honestly demonstrate initiative and the will to get out there and do it. I believe that this ordinance, the resolution, the ordinance that prepares this is, said in statement of spirit. We want to really empower youth in our community who demonstrate, a level of leadership and a want to try and organize and present and contribute. So, I guess I'll pause and just, the word's dormant. It's hard to say, but it's like we just haven't had a ton, a critical mass of students arrive and present themselves and say, I'd like to be part of it.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's part of us as a city government to try and say, how can we create better outreach? To look out to what are maybe the student government types who are within now the high school in our community and the middle schools that are in our community, to say, help us to recognize and to I'll say directly solicit and recruit who we think are students who can really live out this. So,
yeah, and I think you make really good. Now that we have schools mostly, full of Liberty Lake students, some of them do cross over. It may be easier to get some participation. At one point, somehow, years ago, when Amanda and Michelle were still here, I ended up being like the council liaison to youth commission somehow. Not sure how that happened, but the challenge then was, like you said, participation. We had all these kids participating, but nobody showed up on a regular basis. It was really frustrating. And the other thing to consider that this will and maybe we look at a council advisor instead of involving staff, somebody who's, wants to take on that leadership role, maybe with the youth, because, what staff is, each major staff member has a commission already. I don't know if we have the bandwidth to add a staff member for this or make them part of something with rec, but no, those are things to be decided. But I'd like to hear your guys' voice on whether we want to try to start recruiting again and get this going back up. I think I had Councilmember Darrow first and then Klingler.
When I was on the Community Engagement Commission, we spoke numerous times about adding a youth non-voting member to the group. It's always a challenge with that group to get participants. Recently, we've been very lucky, but I would say that would be an appropriate place for a youth member. And I think the other commissions also have a similar, probably a similar feeling, is my guess. So that would be my thought initially, and if that becomes very popular in some way, maybe that's a time to look at a separate one, and maybe it would be with those that same group of people. But that would be my thought initially.
Councilman Klingler, you were next.
Yeah, I was going to ask Pro Tem Dunn whether we had engaged what level with, I think you hinted at it or intimated, the schools. It would be cool if their student body elected officials and stuff were kind of engaged in that and could draw in other students. But it would seem like to be successful, we would need to engage with the school system to really get those people that have shown some, interest in leadership and things like that, or in existing leadership, programs and stuff. If it could be kicked off, I'd be really interested in participating in that in some way, because I think that that's an amazing way of contributing back to the community. And kids have the best levels of energy, and they haven't become jaded like us old people yet, so it can be really inspirational.
Oh, I totally agree, Rick. And to be clear, I've not personally yet extended that, but I think that's where this needs to go next. We're all familiar with DECA and other, I'll say, leadership oriented, both extracurricular and then curricular programs for our secondary and middle schools, or so it's just a matter of having an outreach out there and saying, we are, as a city, we have this. We would like to engage, and we would like to solicit and recruit students who would like to participate.
Yeah, and just a slight follow-up to that. I know we used to do like there was a debate process that people that were going or running for a city council office, they would show up at Ridgeline or some of the local schools, and maybe there's a way of looking back into that and seeing who were the key people that helped facilitate that, and they might be interested in it, because it's not just about leadership, it's also getting involved in local government. Sorry.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Go ahead, Councilmember.
Well, look whose name's on this. I remember back in the day, that there were a couple of teachers from the local school district who came to us. And it was a requirement back then that kids have civic responsibilities and civic duties. Obviously, this is 2020 or 2006, and we're, way ahead of that now. And there's so much packed into a young person's day that I would love to see it resurrected and see the kids involved, but I also am cautious about just how packed their days are. And there's so much responsibility on them and with media and all of that. So I'm for it, obviously, but we just need to make sure we have participation.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Councilmember Seifert has not gone yet, so we'll go to him.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one because of the lack of participation in the past. I'm thinking the same thing that Councilmember Fisher's thinking. With one just out of high school and one in high school, and the amount of stuff in their day. But I don't want to shoot it down. I think that we should engage the school and get their take on it and go see if there is active interest in it. And if I don't want to sit here and think that I know whether there's going to be or not. So I'd say let's engage the school, and I don't know who wants to take that on. But
Well, I was going to, I know Pro Tem has some things going on, but I know he's got some relationships over at Ridgeline, so do I. AP government, a bunch of several of the others. Maybe Mayor Pro Tem, maybe you and I can just do a quick phone call when it's convenient for you. We can line those people up, and I'd be more than happy to go over and have those conversations. And then if they do indicate that this would, whichever format it takes, whether it's a full commission or adding student commissioners on the different our commissions, maybe it's something way back when I was in high school, we had, at the beginning of the year, we had like a club fair, right? All the clubs, had their display of what you can get involved with. Maybe this would be an opportunity to get ahead of it. And at the beginning of next school year, have some representatives there from the council or whoever to engage with the students about what this would be. And then, because if we start recruiting now, summer's going to go and it's going to be totally different. But I think the last few months here before school's out would give us a good opportunity to have those discussions and then set something up for the beginning of the school year for the actual engagement recruitment for whichever form this is going to take. Councilmember Darrow, I know real quick, Councilmember Ball, you haven't spoken yet. Anything?
Well, yeah, I think I agree with approaching the school first, Ridgeline, and seeing if they think there would be any interest, because it would just be, fruitless to have a committee and nobody shows up, so that would be my, I like the plan.
Okay. And we're back to Councilmember Darrow.
I know it's still at the early stages, and I wholeheartedly agree that working with the school is the best initial approach. And I know David's really great at reading the community in general online, but there's a lot of students who are homeschooled and private schools, and I would hate for them to be left out of the process here.
That's a great
Oh,
point.
yeah.
So again, I've seen lots of, there's room on this commission or that from the city itself on Facebook and in the libraries and other places like that. So the same channels, basically.
Yeah. Well, and we have private schools around too, where we've got kids who go to G Prep at St. George and Liberty Launch, and so that's a really good point to add those to our outreach and to engage with some of the homeschool groups,
especially since, frankly, a lot of them are going to have more flexible schedules and might be aligned with the specific asks.
Yeah, very good point. Thank you. Yes.
You just mentioned G Prep, so we're going to go outside of Liberty Lake for
the students would need to live here, but G Prep. All over.
Yeah. Gotcha.
St. George. I mean, there's and the Catholic schools and the other other magnet schools. Yep. And there's even, it would be difficult, but I think most kids are choicing into Ridgeline and not out. But there are kids who live in Liberty Lake, I know, who in the past have, choiced out to Wesley. So, obviously that's a whole different discussion, but I appreciate you bringing this up, and Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem Dunn, I will reach out to you here and figure out what's convenient for you so we can kind of get our heads together. Sound good? All right.
Great.
Not hearing anything further, we are up to our consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, I move general business items 10A through G.
Second. We have a second by Councilmember Fisher, All those in favor of approving the consent agenda items 10A through G, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. All right, up to action items.
Madam Mayor, I move action item 11A, approving a pavement master plan.
Second.
We have a second by Councilmember Severs. All right, are there any, we've had presentations on this. Are there any questions? Ben's here in case there are questions. But the ask is to approve it for incorporation into the comprehensive master plan. This is one piece of the whole. No questions? Oh,
So
Councilmember
I just
President, go ahead.
offer an observation, a hearty thanks to Public Works Director Ben. Specifically how I perceive the utility of the pavement master plan is a really important part of our upcoming capital plan. Specifically, this needs to outline when expenses, and I'm going to say significant expenses, are going to need to happen for the city. And I look forward to incorporating what's been outlined here into our projected spending.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions. So those in favor of approving the pavement master plan for incorporation into the City of Liberty Lake Comprehensive Master Plan, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Next up, recreation agreement.
Madam Mayor, I move general action item 11B, U.S. Tennis Association 3-year tennis recreation agreement.
All right.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Severs. Any questions on this one? Jen's here if you have any questions. Not hearing or seeing any. That's awesome.
I just want to be enthusiastic about this one. I see this as yet another opportunity to create recreation for our community, and especially associating a partner that brings to the table expertise, know-how, and prior experience in how to deliver programming. So well done, staff.
Are we going to have fights between the pickleballers and the tennis people? I hear it a yes somewhere in the audience.
Define fights.
Which is the real sport.
All right, those in favor of authorizing me to sign the 3-year rec agreement with USTA PNW to provide tennis lessons in city parks, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0.
Madam Mayor, I move general business action 11C, library meeting room policy changes.
Second.
We have a by Councilmember Severs. All right, are there any more questions or comments with regards to the recommended policy change for the meeting rooms at the library?
I would observe, I appreciate the ability to clarify this policy to reflect our actual facilities, as well as the way the facilities are supported for reservation. So I see this as largely a clerical action that really just provides clarity for how the facilities are to be reserved.
Yeah. It's great to have the flexibility and that people can go in on their own and make their lives a little bit easier. All right, those in favor of approving the changes to the library meeting room policy as recommended by the Board of Trustees, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. Okay, we're at council comments, not including upcoming workshops. So are there any council members who'd like to make any additional comments before we move into resolutions? Councilmember Ball.
Well, in the city administrator's report, he didn't get to like any questions about the different department reports. I don't believe. Did you?
We have removed that item from the regular agenda. If you do have questions, this is a opportunity for you to be able to ask those. If you'd like to do that.
Or send them to the department heads as well. But
Well, yeah, I did send a lot of emails, but I forgot a couple things. Kyle, since you're sitting there, one of them was for you. I just had a question. Let me find it here. In your report under administrative, where is it? Finances evaluating options and potential benefits of conducting a sales tax review audit, which aims to review and correct vendor location codes that may be incorrectly reporting to neighboring jurisdictions. Does that actually happen?
Yep. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Council have that on.
No, you're fine. That's, it is nice to see an advocate on council that is aware of these potential errors. And so the Department of Revenue really relies heavily on businesses to report where those taxes are going. And so It's up to us, to the extent that we can, to get the word out to make sure that those businesses within Liberty Lake are reporting their activity within Liberty Lake, and they do that by vendor location codes. And so if you're new to Liberty Lake and you're not really familiar with the surroundings or how you set up your business, you could just kind of assume, well, I'm in Spokane Valley or in the Spokane, and that's how you set up your business. And then you're reporting to the Department of Revenue, my activity is going the city of Spokane, because generally, regionally, people think we live in the Spokane area. And so there's potential for incorrect reporting to happen. Liberty Lake's a relatively younger city. And so I don't know that, any losses that we would find have been compatible for all that long. But it's just really important for us to be able to say that all of the activity that's conducted within the city is going to the right place.
So this just, it stuns me. So this, what you're saying is like, I don't know, Joe's Meat Market or whatever could potentially be reporting that he's in the valley or the
Yeah.
city. I'm gonna put my hat back on. No.
I can answer this because this has kind of been my baby.
Yeah.
And I kind of invented this. So what happens is every city gets a 4-digit code. Could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Spokane Valley could be 1314. Liberty Lake could be 1316. And if Susie Q bookkeeper or the CFO or whomever reports to the Department of Revenue, if they don't put the right 4-digit code, that money doesn't go to the right place. And you don't know that. Like Kyle, he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So what happens is if you have corporations come in, I know Greenstone knows it, all of our big players, they all know the city's 4-digit code and they report it accordingly. But, maybe I'll do the new meat market, Copa, is that what it is, Rich? What's the meat market?
Yes,
Rich?
that's right.
Okay,
Copa Butchery.
thank you.
They're
new. They're new and they're awesome. And so let's just say that they don't know what code to report. They may report the valley. And so we miss out. So it's incumbent on us to go to these businesses and say, hey, by the way, do you use our 4-digit code, 1, 2, 3, 4? And they may say, oh, I didn't know that. And you just remind them politely, and everyone wants to do the right thing. Trust me, they do.
Mhm.
And if they know what the right thing is, they'll make those changes. And it's been in my past, in every single city, I've increased tax by 30 to 40%. It works. And Kyle knows that. And so, but it's an effort. It takes staff time. It takes, going out there, asking the questions, and I'll volunteer to help you. I know what to do. So, but it's huge. It is huge. And since we are kind of in Spokane Valley, City of Liberty Lake, we're all kind of in this cluster here. It's very important that our vendors know, hey, this is our code. So that's how that works.
Okay, so you're evaluating whether or not to do this? Is that?
We are doing it. We're just,
Okay.
yes, we're rallying the troops to execute it.
Right. Yeah, I'll help too, because that just.
It's huge.
Yeah. Okay.
No one knows my history of this.
And then I had a question for, let's see, on the parks. Jen, are you still here?
Yeah.
Just, oh, hi. I'm curious, what's an RCO grant? Pavilion Park Playground stuff?
It's Washington Recreation Conservation Office.
Okay.
It's a big deal. It's a big grant that
big
we
deal.
are going to start working on to hopefully qualify for and get some help paying for the pavilion playground renovation.
Yeah, that's good. And then, what's the pit vehicle? I don't understand that. Pit.
That's a question for Chief and DC, but it's I think from what I understand, it's a vehicle that's got extra heavy duty bumpers on it that they can take out and do maneuvers, pit maneuvers to practice.
When they hit a car in the corner and make it spin around, that's a pit.
It's one of the old cars, one of the very old
Oh.
cars. And so we're
Oh.
just making something work out of it.
Oh, okay. And then also the baseball field story walk. Where exactly? Is it going to be at Moulter and,
Yes, it's going to be
Country
east
Vista?
of there. east of the Liberty Lakes Elementary School field. So the baseball diamonds, our property, it'd be the very south side near the trail on the
Nice.
side of the trail.
Okay.
Along Country Vista.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you. All right. Any other council comments for tonight?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I'd offer kind of as a PSA for everybody, and with gracious thanks to Jen for reminding me. If you find yourself standing at our parks and witnessing, I'll call it vandalism, especially in the form of e-bikes ripping up grass, an appropriate action is a call to crime check. So I just want to say everybody is, able to and responsive to understanding what's going on, and that'd be a fair thing to do. So, thanks.
Right. Thank Don't jump in front of them. Call for help.
No citizen arrests.
All right, not hearing any more. We don't have any public hearings or appeals. Next up is our resolution 26-283. Kyle.
Buckle up here. Resolution number 26-283, a resolution of the City of Liberty Lake, Washington, approving the final plat of River Crossing 2020 3rd Edition, located in a portion of the southeast quarter of the southwest quarter, and a portion of the southwest quarter of the southeast quarter, and a portion of parcels B, the binding site plan 76-00, section 9, township 25N, range 45 WN, Liberty Lake, Washington.
What about the file number? No, I was waiting for you to read that too. All right. Well, let's have a motion so we can have discussion.
Madam Mayor, I move resolution 26-283.
Second.
And a second by Councilmember Severs. All right, discussion. Any questions, comments? None?
I'll observe what I recognize this as an action of our city's planning department. We are documenting for posterity the definition of more housing in our community, the development, the growth of our community. So this is an action of our community that we've, come to really expect. I just want to recognize that it will not go on forever. The wonderful and important growth that we've got here, is something that I personally value highly. The partners that we have in that, but we're not going to see these forever. So,
Thank you. All right, are there any questions, comments? All right, not hearing any. Before we go to a vote with resolutions, we do take public comment. So if there's anybody in chambers or online who'd like to make a comment on this resolution specifically, no other topics, we'll entertain that. Don't everybody jump up at once. Is there anybody online who'd like to make a comment? Okay, all right. So not hearing any public comment, we will go ahead and move to a vote. Those in favor of approving resolution 26-283, I will not read the rest. Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. Next resolution, Kyle.
All right, resolution 26-284, a resolution of the City of Liberty Lake, Washington, providing for submission to the qualified voters of the city a proposition for the consideration of a sales and use tax of 0.1% for the purpose of funding criminal justice services.
We have a motion.
Madam Mayor, I move resolution 26-284.
Right.
Second.
We have a motion seconded by Councilmember Severs. All right, any questions, discussion? I know you guys talked about this at the last meeting. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, I would lead in the discussion to introduce this resolution as creating opportunity for the voters of the community to consider an incremental sales tax in support of public safety, which it appears will be a choice between the resolution proposed by the city and the resolution proposed by a greater, and I'm going to say larger entity. So I am supporting this strongly as creating that choice for our community. The voter will have the opportunity to say yes or no to what is our proposed public safety opportunity, or it appears a greater, a larger area's proposed public safety opportunity. So respectfully, I leave that to the voters for their decision, but creating the opportunity for their decision is what this action is. So I'm grateful.
Thank you. And there will be some, education that comes along with it, with some facts and figures, no opinions from the city. Anybody else have any comments on this one?
I do. I agree with Pro Tem Dunn. I like very much that the lines with goal number 4 for our city to maintain safety, and to do that, we have to have the funds to do it. So I think this is a great opportunity at a very reasonable cost. I hope that the voters will be behind it too, considering that it was almost 50% voting that, goal number 4 was the highest concern. So
Right.
that's all I have to add to that.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Councilmember Severs and then Ball.
I guess more of a comment about this and sort of a reminder of some of the education we got last time for anybody listening that was not listening last time we spoke about it. This is putting a vote on the ballot to allow the city of Liberty Lake to take the sales tax versus giving more of the sales tax to the county. It is unlikely that this is a vote for a tax or not a tax, that we believe strongly our citizens will get this tax increase one way or the other. It's just a matter of whether or not the revenue will stay in the city of Liberty Lake for our public safety, or if it will go to the county. So this is where I strongly align with this, that this is a good thing for the city of Liberty Lake.
We want the money to stay here.
Right.
Yep. Councilmember Ball.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that it's important that we do educate the public that the money is going to be in our to our benefit by doing it this way. I've already seen some negative comments on social media. I don't talk to them, but they don't understand.
You
I
ever
think.
receive positive comments on social media, Linda? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
But it's disturbing because we're not even, we're just starting this and it's already like, oh my God, another tax.
There
No,
will definitely need to be a lot of outreach because it is a very confusing.
Yeah.
Even to us here, I think it can be confusing and we sit here and listen to it. and
Right.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
So to make sure people understand the difference between us, the county, what happens to what number of funds if this and not that, or if not this and that. So we'll definitely need to work through all those scenarios for our citizens so they can make the information to make their choice.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Again, before we have a council vote, we are open to citizen comments on this resolution. So if there's anybody in chambers, please let me know. No. Is there anybody online who'd like to make a comment on this resolution specifically? There's not. Okay, all right. So we will take go ahead and take the council vote. Those in favor of supporting resolution 26-284, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? My motion passes 6-0. Okay, we have no ordinance, no emergency ordinances, upcoming introduction of upcoming agenda items. You've got your list here. So we are making some progress. So we've got the micro mobility town hall. We're looking at the 2nd or 3rd week of April. We're still working on that.
So a quick update on that.
Yeah.
We've got a tentative date, which is April 28th, which is the 4th Tuesday of April. And that's designed and that could change based on tomorrow's conversation at the Community Engagement Commission, but we want to give them ample time to be able to plan. So that's what we're targeting right now.
Perfect. Thank you. We have the capital facilities
I have
plan.
a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Where will the micro mobility town hall be held?
That's yet to be determined, likely Trailhead Rotary Room.
Okay.
Okay, and then next up, we'll have the 20-year capital facilities plan on the 14th, parks plan update on the 21st, tentative finance workshop with Kyle that same day. We also have a special meeting tentative 27th or May 8th for a review of the draft comprehensive plan. And then we have a couple of dates out there waiting on doodle poll responses. I guess I better go check my email because I have not seen that yet to do a special meeting to finish getting through the governance manual. And obviously everybody will get a refresh copy, make sure it's at the top of your email box as to what's out there, what's been done, the red lines, and then we can go from there. Councilmember Ball.
Well, yeah, I had asked the city administrator earlier today in an email, are we going to pick up where we left off, start completely over since there's new people?
I don't, go ahead, Mark.
So I can't answer that. That's going to depend on how much review new council members are going to want to do. And some of that is going to be doing work in advance to get familiar with what changes were recommended through the earlier discussion. So I think that's going to be dependent upon those individual council members.
And I would kind of expect a review of what had been a review of what had been reviewed and kind of agreed upon. Hopefully there's no major, requested changes to that, and then move on to what's left. Would be my hope. Councilmember Severs. Oh, that was okay.
Sounds good.
All right,
Yeah.
everybody. Okay. All right. Sounds good. And then we have sign code TBD along with social media, hazard mitigation risk plan, and shared response to homelessness. So we have a full calendar of workshops through the end of April. All right. Is there any that I missed that we need to add? I don't think I heard any discussion about any additional ones tonight. Nope. Okay, good deal. All right, now we are back to citizen comments one more time. Our chance. We'll fill out a thing for you, or you can give it to us later, Nada, just so we have the record.
I just want to be quick. Councilmember Ball, I can do better. I didn't see the map until after I sat back down. Just really quickly.
Careful.
We're breaking today, but
But for those of you who can't see, we're getting a visual of where the water goes.
right, so so it comes out right through here and goes across the street there, and it goes through this top. You can kind of see right there, see a little bit of a line. That's the outlet channel, and it's really old. Like you can see there's all that concrete looking there from a long time ago. It was some kind of farm. It comes here, crosses Sprague, goes here, crosses across Settler, and then goes right along the golf course here. There's a little holding pond in here someplace. The district owns a little bit of land in here, and then it right there, that gray area. Because it's empty now, and then it goes under a culvert in here. You can kind of peter out in this area, so this is where the water kind of gets held in the whole area. It's just about that, and it's usually not that much, but like this year, I'm not gonna probably open it at all. And so it will, and in some years, it kind of floods where the trail is, right in this area, right in here. Sometimes you'll see a cone right here, where there's that. Right. And this is the kind of a flat area you can see. Can you guys all see this on that side?
Well, we'll do a tour of the other map at the end of the meeting.
I just said executive session, I was gonna zap it, but so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. No.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, so if there are no citizen comments online, not hearing any, okay, and none here. So we do have an executive session. And so, yeah, so we're good on time. So have an executive session for our 42.30.110 1C real estate transaction. So we will, Mayor Pro Tem call you on your so loop you in. You're familiar with the topic. You'll know what it is once we start the meeting. So we will, council will adjourn to the room next door, 15 minutes. So we'll expect, let's say 8:05 for return. That gives us some transition time to get in there. And if you guys need to take a quick bio break, but council will convene in there. We will not make any decisions when we come out. There's no further business. So we will adjourn when we come out of the meeting. So thanks everybody for being here. All right, everybody, it is 8:05 as promised. We're out of executive session. There's no further business before the council, so we will adjourn at 8:05. Have a great evening. Go Zags.